Okay, so welcome to kind of my final video for this course, which is 6.2. And then in this video, I will be talking about what I've learned throughout this course and also some tips I want to give. Now, before I start with the tips, I just wanted to say overall, this course has been really inspiring, and I think that this course has dramatically impacted my life and actually has set a lot of things in order for me. And with this course finished, I feel as if, hey, maybe I've actually sorted a lot of things out. Maybe in the past I would have looked at my budget and been like, I don't know, like maybe this budget's not working, or like didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, or I didn't know who I was. But after doing this course, I feel as if I learned a lot more about myself as well as other people and also the world. This course has taught me a lot of beneficial things that can be applied into the real world with other school courses such as like maths or like gym or language arts. Well, maybe not so language arts, but you learn things that help you in school, but not necessarily like directly in real life. But I feel as if with this course, I can apply all the things I've learned and directly use them in real life, because everything in this course has been about yourself, about what you see yourself in the future doing, about you. So I think that's really cool. So for my first tips to other career life education students in the future, it is to find your identity and find who you are. Now, for my example that I'll be using from this course was, I think, the very first or second, I'm not too sure, one of the very, very first assignments. Now, it's a little bit wrinkled now, but I don't know if it's going to flip in the camera when I save it later or if it's like flipped already. But this was like the art piece that you had to do in order to know about yourself. After doing different blueprint tests, after doing like the personality tests, you ended up learning more about yourself. And then by taking all the things that you learned about yourself, you can apply it and like even like use and like express your own ideas and turn it into an art piece. Now, I already talked about my art piece in like the actual assignment, so I won't really talk about it now. But doing this actually made me very happy as someone who really likes doing art, because I think for me, art is a way for me to actually express my feelings. And after learning so many things about me, I actually had a lot of feelings about myself, a lot of feelings, whether they were happy or sad, and I was able to express them through this. So, yeah, I think that as long as you're able to do the assignments, make sure when you're doing all the quizzes to answer truthfully, otherwise you won't really know what your true personality type is. It's better to get something bad, but that's kind of true, than to lie to yourself to get something that sounds kind of better. Now, for me personally, the first time I did the personality type quiz, I actually didn't get ENTP. I got something else, which is really strange for me because all my life that I've done this, like, pretty much the exact same quiz, I've always gotten ENTP or ENTJ. Now, I wasn't really sure, like, the first time if I was lying to myself or not, because every other time I've gotten ENTP. So then when I retook it again, I think maybe the fact that in the past I've gotten ENTP actually influenced the fact that I got ENTP again. Now, I think that what I did was right, just because that in the past I've constantly gotten ENTP, so it would be pretty steady. But I think if you haven't done that specific type of quiz before, I don't think you should redo it, because the first time you get it will probably be the most accurate, unless there were some things that you didn't understand, or unless if you saw the results and they didn't really seem true to you. So for me personally, when I saw the results for whatever I got the first time, they didn't make sense to me and they weren't very true to me. So make sure that you're always doing your things truthfully and that your results are true to you, because it will impact you. It will impact you. Now, my second tip for future CLE students is, number 2, don't let your results impact you completely. Now, for example, let's just say that you wanted to be an engineer in the future, but then when you did all your quizzes, you looked at all your personality types, looked at your hobbies, or like whatever subjects that you're good at. What if it matched up and it wasn't like an engineer? What if it was like dancer or bookkeeper or something, okay? What if you got something that wasn't what you actually love? Now, I think this is not good, that it constantly will, like, I think that it's good that it will tell you some recommended jobs, but you shouldn't like take those recommended jobs and be like, oh wait, those are the only things. Don't be limited to your results. When you get your results, they are merely just a guideline for maybe some ideas of things you could do if you end up not liking engineering in the future. So for me, I think I'll show a picture on the screen later. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I remember for one of my results, I got like avionics technician and like bookkeeper. That's no, we're not doing any of that here. So, to me, I have absolutely zero interest in bookkeeping and zero interest in avionics technician. I don't even know what that means. But what I've always wanted to be was to work in the medical field. So I know that's what I want. So I'm not going to stray off and become a bookkeeper just because some quiz told me to. But because I want to be, like, if I really want to be something and I really truly love it, I will go pursue it. And I think you guys should all keep that in mind. And I think that when you are doing the quizzes and you want to be a little bit biased to your preferred type of job in the future, I think that's alright as long as you're still being reasonable and it's still true to you. So if I was saying, like, let's just say I wanted to be a dancer, but then the question came about dancing and I did not have any experience dancing, and it was like, oh, so how often do you stretch and dance every day? And I said, like, 12 hours. That's not true. If I wanted to get, like, the kind of more to, like, the dancey kind of option, maybe I could say, oh, I've been practicing dancing and stretching for 1 hour or something, just to kind of lean closer to what you want. But you shouldn't ever stretch the truth too much, because it actually will severely impact your answers and then severely impact what you think about yourself. Now, so for my third point, I'll be talking about community involvement and how important it is to make connections. So when in any sort of situation, it's really important to know other people and be involved. So let's just take your hometown, like your home, your neighborhood. So what it means to be involved is you can take place in cleanups, you can help people walk their dogs, you can help children tutor. Two of those things is which I do. And I personally, it's really valuable for me because, first of all, you feel really good about yourself. Number two, you're doing a better thing for other people. Number three, you're building connections. Now, building connections is extremely important in both a workplace and a social environment. So within the social environment, if you don't have connections or if you don't have any friends, it's really hard to have any fun with anything. Now, from a business standpoint, you need connections in order to meet new people, which are your more connections, and then with those other people you can make more and more and more. So it's basically just an endless chain of making connections. Now what connections can benefit you with, you can get they can give you different opportunities, and you can use those opportunities to your advantage and put them on your resume and use them for your future work use and references. Now, my fourth tip will be about maintaining a good online reputation. Now, as you may know, today, a lot of people, they will check your Facebook, they will check your Instagram, and they will also check your LinkedIn. So, of course, LinkedIn is obviously like a very professional place where you talk about, the things that you've done, what your occupation is, your past references. You can even put, like, your resume and, like, what school you go to there, okay? Because LinkedIn is made to be professional. But people don't want to only look at your professional side. They also want to see your personal life to see if you have an issues, if you're like weird or shady or anything. So for example, let's just say on Instagram you're posting like pictures of you going to parties every Sunday night, and an employer sees that, they're not going to be impressed. They might see that and they don't want to hire you anymore. Because why would you want someone who's going to instantly blow off all their money, who probably does like substances or does bad things at a party every Sunday night? And people just aren't looking for that when there are other people who are much more qualified than you. So that's why it's really important to maintain a good online reputation. So when you're online, you have to think about, is it right to post this? Is it right to post this? Think about who is going to see your posts. It's not only your friends who are going to see your posts and be like, oh, wow, that's so cool that you went to a party every Sunday. But your employers are going to see that and they're not going to like that. So that's just why you need to keep a good online reputation. Another thing I want to add is that it is possible on Instagram to have a private profile where you can only let friends see what you post. However, I still feel like it's a little bit risky, and you should still be careful what you post on the internet because you don't know who's going to see it and you don't know who they're going to tell. Now, for my final tip, I'm going to be talking, which is like tip number 5 again. So my final tip, I'll be talking about career exploration. Now, I know this applies to a lot of people. I don't know if this is going to apply to myself in the future. Maybe it will. I'm not too sure yet. But from what I've heard from many other people, including my parents and their friends and my cousins and my aunts, blah, 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 everyone says that once you go into university, a lot of the time, if you're just doing like a smaller degree, you're not going to do a job related to that degree at all. So when it comes to career exploration, I think it's really important to go out while you're still young and find opportunities. So once you're trying a lot of different opportunities and different types of things, you'll be able to experience them yourself, and you'll be able to see, like, am I going to like this? Do I want to do this for like the rest of my life? Like, do I want to like study this for like 4 years at university? Like, once you have that experience, you're able to know things that other people don't, and you can judge them yourself. Because when you just read about them online, it's not like a personal thing. You're reading it from someone else's perspective. It could be biased. Like, it doesn't matter. When you experience yourself, it's like true. It's like 100% wholesome. It's pure, You actually get to experience it yourself. So that's why I still think going out and participating in community service or doing work experience or just doing anything, even if it's free, to just help out around your community is very important. And also, once you do these things, if you actually want to get a job in it, it'll be easier because you already have experience. So let's just say you want to volunteer at the Vancouver Aquarium over the summer, which I know is possible. So once you did it over the summer, in the future, maybe you want to think, maybe I want to do this again. Or like in the future, when you're an adult, you actually want to work there. You have top priority to get into that job before people who actually haven't done that work experience before. So that's why I think it's really important to go out and get those opportunities.